So I joined a new soccer team this year. My previous one I'd been with for a very long time, like known the coach, and known all the people for a very long time. And this prevented me with like an ethical dilemma when I joined a new soccer team that like I initially like failed to recognize, because as I mentioned in my previous reflection, I kind of like psychologically shut down and got anxious on this new team because like I wasn't as comfortable with the people and everything, which ultimately like had a direct consequence for like the other 10 people on the field and like my team who depended on me. And I often played winger, and this led to me just like kind of avoiding mistakes by avoiding the ball. However, that's not really the role. Like, you need to be able to create opportunities for others as a winger, particularly for the striker. And like, I prioritize my own like discomfort, and like ability to say like, oh, like I didn't make that mistake over the team's like collective need for contribution. Which I think was the real ethical dilemma, is like I was making like a morally significant choice to like free ride on my teammates' efforts and then be able to say like, oh, I didn't make any like mistakes, like I was fine, because I simply wasn't interacting with the game, rather than choosing to interact and maybe make mistakes which would like lead me to maybe have some fault and like when plays went wrong, but ultimately I would be like contributing more. um, and I really saw this like when I kind of recognized like my teammates' frustration towards this. And like my anxiety like wasn't really a private burden. Like I was thinking of it as a private burden, but like it forced others to like compensate for like when I was passive and when I wasn't going after the ball. Um, and really when this happened was when like I received the ball, like became like an exercise of like immediate like get rid of it, disposal, rather than like creative to play or thinking about or like choosing to run with the ball myself. And like I was choosing to transfer this risk to my teammates rather than like bearing the uncertainty inherent to the position and like what I was supposed to be doing. Um, and this is where like my goal of implementing meditation actually really helped, because like it was like an ethical correction, and by being able to like effectively address my like internal and mental game, like I was able to play better and also able to like embrace this discomfort of like, oh, like I'm gonna make mistakes sometimes, like I'm gonna mess up, but that's better than causing the rest of the team to compensate for like not playing me essentially. Because like I feel like I had a duty of reliability to the people who like they'd also committed their Tuesday and Thursday evenings toward a shared goal, of like doing well. And by meditating, I was able to control my mental state, and I was also able to like become more mentally tough, and also recognize that like willpower like isn't just about personal performance. Like it's not like track. Like I also do track. That's like an individual game. Like if I do bad, like it doesn't really hurt anyone. But in soccer, like you have to like honor the obligations to others, and so mindfulness really became helpful in like fulfilling that duty and making sure like I didn't my stress and my own like internal mental discomfort didn't like cause negative consequences for everyone else. And this experience revealed that like ethical behavior like requires you to be considerate of others and to take action rather just passivity. Like withdrawing yourself from the situation is not a way to just like absolve yourself of any ethical decisions. Like that in itself is an ethical decision, so you need to consider that. And like choosing the library like over social spaces, like that's not just like a decision, or like just about productivity. It's like a choice of like, oh, I'm gonna commit myself to studying rather than hanging out with people in order to like deliver my commitments, to my teachers, to peers, and my parents and myself. Um, and so I think my growth area was really like recognizing that ethical action requires like proactivity, and that you can't just withdraw yourself from a situation to absolve yourself of making like an ethical decision. Um, or you can't just like have a reactive moral effort. You also have to be proactive and consider how your possible choices of action are going to affect those around you, and also what commitments you've made. Like, what was my duty to this team? And I think that was like to try my best, to like do my absolute best. And I really couldn't do that if I was just withdrawing all the time. And this like extends beyond sports because choices of engagement and withdrawal like affect everything you do. Oftentimes, in many activities, like when I'm doing bad in something, I'll just like withdraw. Like if I'm doing bad in a subject, my first instinct is actually not to study more. It's kind of to like study less and just like give up. However, through this experience, I've learned like how to address this and how to make sure that like you still make the ethical decision, which is to be proactive and is to be considerate of your duties to others, and considerate of how your withdrawal will affect them, by like doing things like mindfulness and more considered like environment setting, and how to address like your mental game. And so, yeah, thank you.